Men are relaxing as women take over society. Today's video comes from the After Pill channel. His channel will be linked in the description so that you can go and check him out and support him. Guys, men are walking away. They're done with the nonsense, the games, and everything else. Instead, they're choosing to focus on themselves, their own happiness, and leaving society to crumble as women begin to gain more authority and men gain less. Watch the end of the video to fully understand the implications of men walking away from society, chilling at home as society crumbles and women's influence society continues to grow. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Men today are weak, spineless, fucking weasels, man. Modern men are weak today. And I know that the women got their issues and everything, especially in the Western world. But at the same time, men are not men no more, man. Like, men complain more than a woman. The women are working more than the men. The women are taking on more masculine roles while the men are sitting back taking on more feminine roles. Man, the shit is disgusting. The shit is disgusting. And I'm at a place where, I'm looking for other men to collab with and, just build something with. And I can't find any men that matches my mindset to go build something with, because a lot of these motherfuckers are weak. A lot of you motherfuckers are weak. And I'm just trying to figure out, what is the issue? What is the issue? If it's not envy towards another man, if it's not jealousy towards another man, it's just simply, those are forms of weaknesses, but Jesus Christ, the women today are just like, they're outdoing men, outworking men, just outperforming men. And men got the nerve to complain when many men are doing the bare minimum. Like, I work 70 plus hours a week. I work 70 plus hours a week. And I'm just below, six figures, but I'll come across men complaining about this and that, politics this, politics that. Man, if you don't get your butt out here and start working and picking up shifts and start working more hours, you can't complain if you working only 40 hours, bro. It's 2022. That 40-hour shit is long gone. You got people who making six figures in the tech world, in the remote world, and still picking up, second jobs to, double and quadruple their income. Like, men, like, what has happened? Men are so dang on lazy today. But then you want woman to submit? Submit to what? And she working harder than you. What? Make that make sense. Make it all make sense. And you can, and sure, there, societal things, in play, governmental things in play. That ain't what we getting into today. But if men were to step up, poke their chests out, drop your nuts, and take back your rightful place, society and the government wouldn't have no choice but to bend to our will. But you got men who don't want to go to the gym, who make excuses not to work over 40 hours, talking about some work-life balance. Yeah, your ass gonna be poor out of a job in a minute. You keep on thinking shit sweet out here. Like, men are refusing to get to enhance their skills. And I'm not talking about all men. Y'all know which type of men that I'm referring to. Y'all know which ones I'm referring to. It's most men, especially on the West, in the Western world. It's most men. In America, it's most men. Men are refusing to go to the gym. Men are refusing to get their body right. Men are refusing to learn and enhance their skill set. Men are refusing to stack up money and, go and invest. Men are just,
So let me be very clear. I empathize with what he's saying, but it's really a very double-edged sword. Men were pushed out of society. Men were told that, you know what, you're not wanted, you're not needed. So a lot of men have just walked away. You have to be very careful when you sit around criticizing men because you don't even realize that a lot of men are doing better than you because they're working smarter than you are. Depending on where you live in the United States, for example, you can live quite comfortably on just a couple $1,000s a month. There are places in the US where you can still rent an entire, well, you can rent a nice apartment for around $500 a month. You can have a $500 a month mortgage. You can live very, very well in some of these states where no one really lives, or, places or regions in some states where there's not a lot of people or not as active. And it's a nice place overall. And these men are extremely comfortable. And it's not my job as a man to hold up society. It's not my job as a man to provide for society. My job is to take care of myself. And I've warned you, this is MWA, men walking away. Men will make just enough money to survive and thrive and no more. Men are not out here planning for the future with a wife and kids anymore. Okay? A lot of these men are like, kids are too expensive. The best you're going to get with a lot of these people are becoming a dink. What is a dink? Dual income, no kids. And when I first saw the dinks, I was like, these guys are pathetic. Now, fast forward like not even a year, I'm like, you know what? I don't disagree with them because it's too expensive to have kids right now. And there is no way in heck I would want to bring children into this type of insanity. As a man, should you be out there hustling and grinding? Absolutely. But only as much as you need to make to live a better life. I'll tell you guys an example of how I made it, and it was one of the worst mistakes I ever made. I was working at a call center and, as for a wireless provider. And then I get a job working at another company that I can make a lot more. Well, I say a lot more, but it wasn't as much as I really thought. Because, when I did the math after I got this job at this other company, after I got the job there, I needed to go and, buy new clothing. So, because I have to dress really well for every day that I'm at work now, I couldn't just wear the normal stuff anymore. I'm working at this very important company. So I have to have a new wardrobe. So I go and buy new clothes. Okay. And in the end, it ended up costing me so much. It's like I was just paying to go to work. I was living just to work. I didn't work to live. I was living just to work. And it was destructive and it was so painful. And I started to realize, like, I fast forward now many years later, and I'm thinking to myself, when I think about the amount of time I was working, the amount of effort I was putting into everything, it made zero sense. I would have done much better if I had just got food stamps. Listen, just hear me out. Got food stamps, got on Medicaid, got on Medicaid. So what? Food stamps, Medicaid, and then supplemented my income other ways. You know, working as and like a lot of these delivery drivers, I don't understand these people because they are demanding a livable income. They've never heard of the concept of being grateful for what you have. They think they should be making $100,000 a year. People who have financial literacy are able to take that money and use it in other ways. Because you're like, well, I don't have to work this many hours so I can prepare my own meals. So I have a nice freezer. I store all my meals in. I store all my meat to the brim in the freezer. And I prepare all of my own meals. And then I have tons of free time so I can play games. I can do whatever I want. And I can start a business, leverage my skills. But a lot of people don't want to do these things. A lot of people want a life handed to them. So it's about working smart, not hard. And even here's the thing. A lot of times in your life, you will work smart and you will also have to work hard. For example, right now, being a content creator on YouTube, running my business, YouTube is where I do make a relatively very good income on YouTube, but my core business is not YouTube. So it's exhausting working on my core business, but my core business is what I work on for the long term. My long term plans are not YouTube. And I have to utilize so many different skill sets in doing this. And I have to work both smart and hard. Like I've never been challenged this more in my life. Like guys, I have to learn things rapidly because of the things I do on the platform, because of how I have to learn, because of the work I do on YouTube. It's forced me to adapt quickly. I have to learn rapidly, rapidly, like everything. Even when it comes to and I have a background in software engineering, but I have to learn these things insanely fast now. Like things that I don't know related to technology, I have to learn them faster than I've ever learned them before because I just have so little free time because of my work. And I have to work both smart and hard. So I have to learn how to learn even faster and make it work. But my job is so that I can provide for myself and make a better life for myself, not for anyone else, not for my family, not for any of that crap. It's all about me. It's me. And I know you're gonna say that sounds like the baby boomers, but think about the baby boomers. They were the me generation, and they left us with nothing, and they tell us to shut up and don't complain. So right now, I'm in my era. Soft guy era does not necessarily mean that you're taking it easy. Soft guy era means that you're putting the focus back on yourself. That's what MWA is all about. MWA, men walking away, are men with alternatives. MWA is about self-preservation and self-care. It's about a man putting his needs first. If you want to, and again, there's no right or wrong way to do MWA. Okay, but those are just the basic principles within MWA. It's men with alternatives. If you want to take care of your kids, if you want to prioritize your kids, that's fine. That's your choice. But MWA is about looking at your best alternatives and finding what works best for you on your own terms. So you can't really tell a man how to do MWA because every man chooses for himself. Some men become passport kings. Some men become, go into their soft guy era. Some men go MGTOW. That's it. It's just so wide. But you have to be smart. And it's not my job to take care of society. It's not my job to break my back anymore. How many guys broke their backs working hard, doing jobs that just weren't worth it, destroyed their minds? Like, there's so many of you guys who will say things like, oh, the jobs that you guys do, if you work in an office, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing at all. Those are easy jobs. You have no idea. If you spend all your entire day behind a screen, it's easy. You have no idea. You have no idea. Most people have no idea the amount of hard work that goes and the mental stress and drain that goes into doing so many white collar jobs even. But most people don't care because they see things only from their own perspectives, which is sad.
Woman. Men are just women nowadays. And it's so frustrating because when I get to talking to men, to other men, like in the workplace, or when I'm out and about or something like that, it's so disgusting, and it really bothers me to my core. Like, bro, I would rather work with some of these chicks out here than many of these men, because they more solid. The women are dang more solid than the dudes out here. Like, bro, what is going on? What is going on? If you watching this and you fall into that category of the men that I'm talking about, man, get your shit together, man. Get your shit together. Stop being overly emotional. Like, stop making excuses for yourself. Work over 40 hours. You need to, if you anywhere under 50, you should be working 60, 70, 80 hours. No excuses. With 2 jobs, I'm just below 6 figures. I'm just below 6 figures with 2 jobs. And guess what? In between that, I go to the gym. I'm up at 5 in the morning, get off at 3. Got to be at my other job at 5. In between that time, I'm at the gym for an hour. I get off at the other job 10:45, 11 o'clock, and I'm back up at 5. Doing it all over again. Because I know where I want to be at. I don't have time. God didn't give me this life to waste away and be this spineless weasel. Y'all so focused on the woman, what the woman doing. Oh, women are this, women are that, women are not submitting. We need to get our passports. We need to do this. Man, you need to get yourself together first. Talking about some flying overseas to get some passports, man. You ain't even got yourself together here. What you think gonna change when you land? A weak man here is a weak man there. A weak man there is a weak man here. What do you mean? Y'all get y'all shit together, man. American men, y'all are losing, man. Y'all are losing. Most American men are losing. And like I said, we can dive into the societal and governmental, structures that are in place, making sure that certain things happen. But overall, I'm disgusted. And if you're a weak man watching this, get your shit together, because the women are outdoing the men in America. They're winning. They're winning in the bedroom, because most men, especially under 30, are virgins or don't have as much sexual experience as the women nowadays. Women are outpacing men as far as financials go. Many women in America make more money than men, especially if they're in the corporate world. Like, what are y'all doing? Most men are out of shape. Most men are spineless.
Now, let me make this clear. A lot of the reasons why so many men come across as spineless today is because they don't want to end up having their lives destroyed. You say the slightest thing today, you can be canceled. If you want to go out there in the streets and go get into arguments and put up fights and stuff like that, go ahead. Make yourself a target for the state. Make yourself a target for law enforcement. Make yourself a target for most women in society. I'm being serious. Like, you feel like you have these big cojones. Look at the people from Jan 6. Look at the January 6 people. They're in prison. 10 years, 9 years, 10 years. Like, they are serving long sentences. Some of them may have got like 15 or 20 years. It's a waste of time. I think that a lot of men, and I agree with a lot of men, I'm not saying that I want society to collapse, and I don't think society will collapse. Society collapsing is essentially like the apocalypse, where nations collapse. No, I think groups of people in society will collapse. And only once we've gone through that extraordinary downward trend can we start to have the potential of rebuilding. But what we have right now is absolutely horrendous. And it's not worth fighting for. So many guys right now realize that no matter who wins in November, we all lose. If our former president gets back in, the most he can do is put a Band-Aid over what's already broken. You can't fix this. You cannot fix this. A lot of this is the legacy of the boomers who will take no accountability for it. You cannot fix any of this. All they're going to do is just keep on printing more money, letting inflation go higher and higher. And it's a level of stupidity. All right. Sure. The idea is like, oh, wouldn't we like to find other men who can collaborate with and do things with? Absolutely. But our society is extremely broken right now. The best move for most men is to focus on yourself, prioritize your own happiness, and to walk away. And let me tell you very much. Let me tell you something. You need to make time for yourself. You shouldn't sit around playing games all day like Gen Z and throwing your life away. Someone made a comment like a Gen Xer came after them in my comments recently and called them a bunch of indentured servants because like Gen Z was coming after Gen X and now Gen X is like a lot of them are pissed. They're like, "Oh, you're talking crap to us." But you have to make time for fun in your life. You don't want to end up being dull. I struggle. I cannot play games for more than a few minutes. I love buying them, but I can't play them because I have in my brain. I'm just constantly worried about, constantly stressing about one thing or another thing. It's exhausting. All right, and I can't unwind. The best moments for me is sleep, and even then, a lot of times I can't even sleep. I have extraordinary problems with sleep. A lot of it comes from worrying, stress. I mean, I don't know. I have almost no credit card debt, but it's like just the way the world is. We all have a lot that we're going through. We're all very, very busy with everything in our lives, and it's hard. It's very, very hard. And I'm telling you, if there's something that you enjoy, hold on to it. You know, it's literally that comment from the movie Grown Ups, don't lose your dinosaur. Don't say, well, I'm gonna go and do this and this and this, and when I come back, once I'm done with all of that, I can go and live my passion, or I can find happiness, or it's total BS. You know, you look at pictures, like there's these things where they'll show you these videos on YouTube. Like my dad said that he was hot when he was young, and they'll show like they'll show the father now, and they'll show the dad like before, and like now he looks like a very old dude, and then they show pictures when he was growing up, and dude is like freaking hot. All right, and as a guy, we know when a person is attractive. Dude's like a total Chad, and you're like, how the heck did this end up happening? Simple, because fathers have the worst hearts. And the cool guy that used to ride around on the motorcycle, used to practice martial arts, used to destroy the arcades, he doesn't do any of that anymore. He just work. All he does is work, and he cannot find enjoyment in any of these things anymore. And the only thing that brings him peace sometimes, drinking. He starts to drink. He drinks and he smokes, and that kind of brings him down a bit because his system, his body, his mind is in a constant state of stress. Like let's go, let's go, let's go. And there are a lot of people who are like, well, that's because he needs to talk to God more, and God will. Guys, these people are jokers. Don't listen to these people. You have to look at facts. All right, God did not put you here to live solely on. I don't want to use the word faith, but you have to take action. Like there's a story where faith is faith is important, but faith without action is dangerous. Okay? Like there's a story where a person was trapped on a house, and I might completely butcher the story, but some of you guys know it, and if you want to say it better than I do, you can say it in the comments. A person was trapped on a house like during a rainstorm, and there was a flood, and he's like on top of the house, and someone comes by in like a small boat, and they're like, oh hey, hop in, and I'll take you to safety. And he goes, nope, I'm fine, I'll let God rescue me. So he says okay, and he goes away. And then someone else comes along, and now it's like a bigger boat, and he's like, hey man, come on, get in, we're gonna go to safety. And he's like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. I'll wait until I'm gonna let God rescue me. And then a person comes with like a helicopter and like, hey, Coast Guard, we're here to rescue you. He's like, no, 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 bro, I'm good. I'm good. You know, God is. I'm gonna leave it to God. So you guys don't need to come down here. God is gonna rescue me. So two boats, one better than the last, and then a helicopter come, and he refuses all of them, and then eventually he basically succumbs to the flood. And then when he gets to heaven, he says to God, God, why didn't you rescue me? And God responds, what are you talking about? I sent two boats and a chopper. You know, you have to be practical. You have to be practical in everything you do and use common sense. And there's so many people who refuse this, and that's just how these people are. And you have to kind of put them out of your life and ignore them. Because if you do not, they will drag you down to destitution and despair. Because that's how these people are. I try my best to stay away from the religious crowd. I really, really do. Guys, if you want to support this channel and everything I do, check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Get top expat and passport bro travel tips, digital nomad guides, passive income strategies, and hard hitting manosphere content. Free subscribers get access to videos, podcasts, articles, and community chat. Plus, receive the passive income blueprint and digital nomad blueprint just for subscribing. Paid subscribers unlock exclusive guides like the How to Build an Online Business in 24 Hours ebook, wealth building blueprints, and crypto updates. Join us now. Click the link in the description.
And you end up being her solution provider. You end up being her masculine energy. You end up being a lot of boyfriend traits to that girl, inevitably, because it's just a male instinct, right? They've done this too. Why did women not be allowed in the military infantry for so long? Because men have a natural provider, protector instinct. When a woman is, getting attacked in combat or whatever, men are going to spring to action to try to help her and compromise the unit. So this is why women have been kept out of infantry and combat position for so long. So I say all that to say this. If you end up as a friend with a female, you're inevitably going to take on boyfriend traits, whether you want to or not naturally. But her end, she's not necessarily obligated to give you any type of sexual access. So what's happening is it's a one-sided relationship, which a lot of girls that are, put guys in a friend zone, they're able to benefit and get the benefits without the guy getting what he wants. All of you guys right now probably have at least one or two guys that's in the friend zone that would hook up with you in an instant if you called them, but you would never hook up with them. But you're still able to siphon off benefit from them. Men, we don't get it that way. So I look at it like, from a logically sound perspective, am I going to be friends with a female when I know for a fact I'm not going to get any type of reciprocation? And then on top of that, it's someone that can't identify with my masculine problems. It's an L for me altogether.
And that's why. Another reason why men don't want their girlfriend or wife with the boy best friend.
This portion of the video comes from Man Guide. You can find their channel linked in the description. Check them out and support them. And I mean, guys, it's very crazy what we are seeing. You see, men are natural protectors and providers. But society does not want us anymore. Society has pushed us away. Women have helped push us away from society. And as a result, and now we've walked away, or we are going our own way. We're choosing to focus on prioritizing self-care and self-preservation. You have a lot of the Sims who are hollering and screaming that men need to sacrifice themselves. That's not my job. My job is not to sacrifice myself for society or anyone or anything else. All right, you have the sim pastor. I have a video from a sim pastor. I'm not going to play it again because you guys don't want to see it again. I get it. But where he's like, men must go and sacrifice themselves. Sacrifice yourselves. It's not about what society can do for you. It's about what you can do for society. It's a load of hogwash and total BS. That's what it is. It's total crap. And it pisses me off. And yet, this is the society and the reality we now live in. And we have to wake up and realize this, that they just want our attention, our time, our money, but they don't actually want us. And then once they are done with us, they will basically just get rid of us. That's why men have to be mindful. It's not about breaking your back. There's this notion, it's not about collaborating with other men. It's great being able to collaborate with other men, but realistically, not everyone wants to collaborate with you, and not everyone is worth collaborating with. You have to be very careful with the people around you. You have to be very careful with who you choose to trust and align yourself with. So many of these guys, they're like, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. You should be. Guys, let me tell you something. I have my Survive and Thrive course out there, and many of you guys should go and check that course out, because the things that I've gone through in my life, the things I've experienced, there's my Survive and Thrive course, and there's my Passport Masterclass, Passport Roads Masterclass. Because the things I've gone through in my life, knowing how to survive when you hit rock bottom, or when you rebuild yourself, but knowing how to have good financial security and not be taken advantage of, not wasting money just because you make more doesn't mean you spend more. Or if you go overseas as a passport king, guys, I went overseas and I had people take advantage of me just because I was an American. And because you're an American, they automatically figure that you have money, that they can that you don't know the culture, and they basically pretend to be your friend. And they'll start asking you all kinds of questions that you think are innocent, but they're not. All right? And many of you might think it's just common sense, which you don't understand how people work in these societies. And all of those things, I've had triumphs and I've had failures. I put those into those courses, you know? So those courses are linked in the description. I recommend you do check them out. But you have to know that this is a harsh world. And again, our lives are not intended for us to spend them working every single day. We do plenty of that, except for Gen Z. All right? It's about the pursuit of happiness. Because if there's no pursuit of happiness, then there's really no point to life. And I'm being very, very clear on that. For many women, as men walk away, they're going to find themselves struggling with financial insolvency. Many of them are facing significant hardships right now. Many will be living in their cars, living in the streets, living in shelters. You know, like a lot of guys said, they chose the bear so now they can go play in the woods. But it's not going to work out well, and men are not going to step up. The next time there's like a major natural disaster, you're going to see more and more men stepping away. When you look at the situation in Florida right now, and you realize, holy cow, they need men to go and save lives and rebuild infrastructure. Guys, there over 30 million men have dropped out of society. And the very notion that people who are coming from other countries are going to fill these roles and take these jobs and so forth, this is a joke. That's an absolute joke. A lot of those people will be take money that they make in Western society, they'll be sending it back to their country. Okay? They'll be sending it back to their country. Many of them will not be paying into the tax system. All right? Their money is their money. I'm just being very honest with you. A lot of them will be working off the books. They will not be paying the taxes. Men pay 80% of all taxes. So if men are dropping out of society, reducing their cost of living, they're saying, we don't need children. We don't need wives. We're more than happy to live in a room with a mattress on the floor, or sometimes no mattress at all. Okay. And a little bit of entertainment. I mean, guys, it's very hard for society to punish men more than it's already punishing them. Because men are basically now just living in the equivalent of prison cells in some cases. But they're by themselves, they have a bit of entertainment, they have food to eat, and they're happier alone. And they're happier by themselves. Okay? I'm telling y'all, there are so many men right now who have less. You heard me, I'm not exaggerating at all. They have fewer possessions than a lot of prisoners, than a lot of people who are in prisons right now. You're like, oh, Angry, you're lying. That's not true. It absolutely is. There's so many guys who live out of a backpack. They have a few pieces of clothing. They may have a cell phone. They don't even have a laptop. And that's it. And they sleep on the floor. And that's how they live, and they are happy as pigs in mud. I've said it countless times that the average man can live happily in a shoebox at the side of the road. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Men are chilling as women take over society. And even though they may be taking it over, they don't understand the implications because they're taking control of something that they don't even understand. And men are not going to bail them out. When things go down, guys, I'm actually, part of me actually wants Miss Harris to win because I feel like she will only help to accelerate the decline. And then, hopefully we will actually hit that downward spiral entirely, and and then from there, only after everything has groups of people in society have collapsed, that we can then start to rebuild. And the funny thing about all of this is that she will accelerate it. She will definitely accelerate it, I personally believe, and she's going to do such a terrible job. You can already see it. She is going to do such a terrible job that she's the perfect representation for putting a woman in office, because she does not look like a very good candidate. And of course, this is the woman that would represent all women as president. So the first female president, here's what she does, right? And she's coming off the Biden administration, which is her administration, okay, or Obama part 2. And it's not going to be good. And me personally, I want to just kick my feet up and relax because things are bad enough. Putting a woman in office won't change anything. We've been going in this direction for ages. If anything, it'll just give more men more reasons to say, yeah, we're just going to take whatever we can from society. We'll go collect welfare, public assistance, kick back, relax. That's if we even need it. A lot of guys, again, they don't have a family, they don't have kids. They can live happily without any of those things. Happily without any of those things, guys. Kamala is saying that she wants to tax unrealized capital gains. So basically, if you have stocks, the moment that your stocks go up in value, she wants to tax that. This is a crazy concept, guys. It's a crazy concept that I don't think we've even seen in communist countries. It's insane. They want to tax what you haven't even realized. So what happens if it doesn't, you want to tax unrealized gains, but then what about losses? For example, you have a billionaire and they're worth $100 billion, but so you tax them on those unrealized gains, but then their net worth, their portfolio collapses overnight and they lose a significant amount of their net worth overnight. Do they get a refund? Do you give them back $35 billion? I guarantee you the answer is no. So I have so many people in my comments who are saying that, to solve this problem, just take away all the money from the billionaires and divide it up amongst the working class and all of our problems will be solved. Those are the people who create wealth, all right? Those are the people who create jobs. The billionaires, that's why they're billionaires. Most people today don't give a damn. As long as they get their money, as long as they get a cut of whatever, they don't care where money comes from. That's how we ended up with hyperinflation. They just want it printed and redistributed to them. George Carlin said this. He said that imagine the dumbest person that you know, and then imagine that most people around you are dumber than even them. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Men are chilling as women take over society. Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.